As usual, you just go ahead. Okay, once we start.
We're good to go.
Alright, go ahead.
The Ministry of Youth and Sport has played an important role in the life of the youths. But what happened when the ministry that is supposed to look after the youths have left them ashore? Nigeria Youth Minister plays an important role because they coordinate the youth. But what happened in times where there is old salary, there's no proper medication, there's no proper health facility, there's no health insurance for the youth. And that is why today I'll be talking about how can partnership between the public and private sector be fostered to drive growth and development in the youth and sports sector. If I happen to be the president, I will bring about the public and private partnership to mobilize together to ensure that there's resources and investment to create a thriving sport ecosystem. The problem we're having in African sport is that there is not always insurance, there's no resources compared to our counterparts in the Western world. There is no insurance. You are playing ball, for example, there is no insurance, and that's one of injured players. Secondly, I will further collaborate by giving sponsorship. Because when the private sectors and the public sector come together, sponsorship will be given, not just based on merit, not just based on who you know, but will be given to the more skillful player. Thirdly, I will ensure that security is a primary responsibility. You agree with me that most of our ladies, when they are being violated, some we have rape cases. So I will ensure that there's proper security at both the local and the national level. Then, in the event of armed conflict and violence, effort will be made to protect the youth from direct involvement. Also, take for example the under 21 ladies that play for the Nigerian we discovered that they have not been paid. They were on paid salary, so that the Ministry of Football had to send the money directly.
Question.
Thank you.
We have been hearing that Nigeria is a sport nation, but what majority of Nigerians understand when it comes to sport is football. So if elected the next president, what special thing are you going to do to promote the other sports in Nigeria?
Oh, thank you, sir, for such a wonderful question. That is why if you go to school, I think there's an inter-house sport that used to happen. There's an inter-house sport that occurs. So if I happen to be the president, I will make sure that there's inter-house sport locality in societies. I will ensure that like scholarship is given to the best.
Question. No question? No question. Alright, thank you. Please, kindly come and sit down. Call the next thing, sir.
Let's have Rivers.
Rivers.
Rivers. Come and tell me.
Good evening all. Good afternoon, I mean. I'm working vision for how to fully encourage youth to go into physical exercise or activities for fitness and mental development. Besides physical fitness and activities, youth development has a large tendency of improving a nation economical growth or will promote intercultural relationship, build some senses of confidence, improve focus, increase emotional, and reduce stress. Thank you.
Question.
Okay. What are the challenges facing the youth in Nigeria?
Go ahead.
The challenges facing the youth. The challenge you are facing as a youth.
Okay. The challenges we're facing is lack of our governors giving us attention, as in they don't really pay attention to the government, to the youth grow.
Thank you.
Supposed to.
Question. All right.
Borno.
I hope you not pocket your hand when you are presenting.
Little pocket. It's a free one.
Go ahead.
Good day, my respected judges, fellow Nigerians. I'm here back again today. Today we are about to unlock the youth potentials in youth and sport. So, as we all know, Nigeria is blessed with talented, motivated, and curious youth that are ready, that are with the vast knowledge to what incorporate and see how we can work on better Nigeria. I'll start by what? Providing an avenue for educating our youths, in the sense that so we improve our education sector so that our youth will be able to come and what? See how they can develop our own nation. If our education sector is we invest in the education, so this is the part of the sector in which we'll be able to invest in our youth and unlock their own potentials. And if we invest in our education, we'll be able to have to see how this youth can. Some of our own youth, we know they are good in this sector, or maybe in technology, through our own economy, understanding of how they will be able to bring out some things that will showcase, be it our culture, be it our band, organizing some competitions that will be able to what, bring this youth, and will also give opportunities in our own employment, so that this youth will come and what, big chest and defend our own country by what, working on our patriotism and our own unity. This youth will be able to.
Excellency.
Yes, sir.
Talking about unlocking the potentials of the youth, what do you think are the step-by-step approach in discovering? You know, you discover first,
yes,
before you unlock.
Yes, sir.
What are the step-by-step?
When we establish a good education, from this education that these youth usually go to schools, we will be seeing some of them, they have their talent. We will start not even at the university level, we will start from our grassroots level, because if you can see China, if you go to China, for instance, you see their students in the primary and secondary school, they are the people that are making such gadgets for us that we are using today. So we will start by exploring our children to these basic amenities that will boost their thinking, so that they will have. Now, if we have a conducive environment, whereby if we have a good road for them, we have a good health, we have a good education for them, so these students will be able to be thinking. That's how we use our own technology to get this database.
Where is the technology?
We employ it now.
Thank you, Governor State.
Thank you. What next? State.
Let's have Imo.
Imo.
Please,
Over.
when others are presenting, you're supposed to pay attention, because there are points you can pick for your tomorrow grand finale. Because you may write on sports, you may choose to write on sports, so you pick some of the ideas here. So I see some doing such discussions, doing other things. Please, that's the essence of why we deliberately put you to see what others are doing, so that you pick from them and you improve yourself. Thank you.
A brief options and brief points to just enlighten on unlocking potential Nigerian youth and sports. I don't need to talk too much on this because of emotion and some certain things. Nigeria, in Nigeria we have over a population of 200 peoples with a well-organized country, and we have the resources that is being needed in our country to enhance in the field of sports, developing the someone who plays ball for Nigeria years back, someone from Enugu State. After playing for Nigerian Football Academy, helping Nigeria to deliver in so many games, but he ended up where being a wheelbarrow pusher. That some people in our country have to sacrifice their own money to help him. With this, I don't think it is possible to unlock Nigerian sport. What are those key points that we are talking about? One, let's talk about invest in youth development program. When you invest in youth development program, this can help you to unlock many things in the society. In the sports sector, it will help you very well. Now, two, let's talk about development in infrastructure. If well, our government can, and I will start to say that yes, Nigerian sports sector will be well developed. Now, let's talk about forced collaboration and partnership. Like for example now, I am standing here on SRTV. If I can work with SRTV or if I can stand in partnership with any organization, I believe standing in partnership with organizations or companies in Nigeria can help bring forth the development that we need in our sports sector. Now, let's talk about promote inclusive and diversity. There are means in which we can promote the sports sectors.
Thank you. Questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, looking at the National Stadium here in Abuja, Nigeria has spent so much, a lot of billions on building that particular stadium, but unfortunately we are not utilizing it. If given the opportunity, what different thing can you do to make sure that we utilize our national stadium, please?
Alright, thank you for the question. I strongly believe that this your question is a nice question, and I pray my answer will give a genuine answer to it. Yes, our national stadium, to make it as an active once more again, because I believe years back it was active, but now it's not active. To make it back active, it is by we helping from the grassroots. Someone once said, using sports in schools. If we can, promote schools, inter-house sports, and creating some certain things.
Thank you. Next.
Let's have a show, please.
Where?
A show.
Go ahead.
Alright, in the issue of Nigeria, that we have the first best African football player, which is Victor Osimhen. He was given the award of the best player 11 December. So now let's keep that on aside. So unlocking the potential of the youth, let's start from the grassroots, which is SRTV. SRTV has given us a channel in order for us to unlock our potential. Yes, let me give you a example to give us. SRTV has given us a potential, he has unlocked our potential just for us to discover what you are good in. I started a TikTok account just yesterday, and today I can only tell you that we have 3,000 views on the TikTok account. This does not start with just my own selfish interest. It started because I got the motivation, because Aisha Toshwala, we all know Aisha Toshwala, she's currently the best African most views. The best African most views in Nigeria currently, in Africa generally. So we can actually use this tool which SRTV has given us to unlock our potentials too. There is a solution I'm coming up with. I got to realize that SRTV, we can improvise a program which is talking about sports, like say a sports program which can actually help the people to know what's more about sports. Yes, it's going to bring more potential. It's going to create, I don't know what I'm speaking about all this thing, but
Question.
Your Excellency, considering the Nigerian government, or how well can your government in organizing youth development program?
Alright, thank you very much for the program, for the opportunity. Alright, so like I said, social media is a very important tool that we all ignore, that we don't really pay much attention to. It has been working ever since and it's still working now. Why do we always talk about Best Nigeria? Why are we always talking about Best Nigeria? Because there is more engagement of Best Nigeria online, not interest, that most people are like the youth.
Because they are making money there.
Because they are making money there. Okay. So where do we get to know it? It's through social media. And this is one of the attributes I feel, yes, and I know that SRT is actually like bringing out, which is like we can incorporate a program which is going to be talking about sports.
What are you now going to do about that?
We need to bring a program that is going to be talking about sports, not only sports. We're going to talk about different affairs.
How will you get them to watch it?
Yes, like I said, I started a TikTok account for the next youth president, and I believe most of my people can actually like.
Thank you very much.
How old is Victor Osimhen that you mentioned?
She's 24 years old.
29.
29.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's.
Good day, Nigerians. I was speaking on the topic unlocking the potentials of youth and sports in Nigeria. Youth are the integral part of the trying to bring stardom back to the country and improving the image of the country. My friend talked about Victor Osimhen and Sir Joshua. These are just few persons that have brought stardom back to the country. Talk about the likes of Toby Amusa, talk about Anthony Joshua and the likes of them. They've done so much for this country that have even brought the image of Nigeria up there. So this did not just start in a day. For someone like Victor Osimhen, if you even go through his story, it was not like a street hustler. He was selling pure down the street of Lagos, and here he is today being celebrated at the age of 24. This is no small feat that can be achieved by anyone.
Victor Osimhen is 25 years. So go ahead.
As at when he was given, he was 24. But if you go to the Olympics, we don't even bring so much medal. We are even more into the football thing than other sports sector. If I become president, I will make sure our next Paralympics too. Thank you.
Thank you. Question?
Sir, you talked much about football, and there were our local leagues.
Yes, sir.
We have Club Chelsea.
Okay, so I think we have to go back to CAF. If you see what they do is having a unified body. For we in Africa, we have the CAF, Confederation of African Football, and these are supposed to be like regulatory bodies for sports in Africa and maybe Nigeria. The NFF is not even doing so well. What we'll do is try to restructure the NFF in its own self. Try to see that, okay, these matches are being shown on live televisions. You know, you give rewards to people who not just come to celebrate them. If you go, people want to watch Champions League, they want to watch Premier League because there are expectations from it. You know, they have the best of players playing football.
What do you need to do differently?
What I need to do is to carry them young. Go back to the grassroots, get the best of these persons, bring them on board and make sure everything works fine.
Thank you. Next.
Let's have Delta.
Delta State.
Judges, good evening, Your Excellencies, good evening, dear Nigerians. Has over 222 million people, and we happen to have 70% of that population to be youth. And sports really doesn't just bring about physical growth, but it also brings about unifying the people. Potential in Nigeria. We discovered that our local stadiums, our fields, our local schools are no longer engaging in sports. Using myself as an example, I used to be a very sporty person. I love sports from childhood, and then watching the TV with my dad every day, boxing. I always wanted to involve myself in sports because I was in a primary school where they had a lot of amenities, everything about sports. And their children, when they are very small, they monitor them to see who is good in eating, who is good in dancing. There's some talent that has refused to work hard. So there's always a procedure to get it.
Integral part of our national and economic strategic focus. But in Nigeria, despite our inability to identify our SWOT analysis, which many people have spoke about, to be able to make sure there is proper management, because lack of proper management has led to so much infrastructure deficit. So if the sport activities can be concession to invite private sector to manage, even if we drive our dilapidated infrastructure, this can go a long way.
Question.
Nigerian sports and economy. What do you have to say about that?
Well, like I said, sport has been an integral part of our economic and social development. But our the strength is the population that we have. our weakness is we can organize
crime acts. Now, speaking in the CNN in September 2022, September 22nd, 2022, the chairman has holding an African bank, African Development Bank of Nigeria PLC, Mr. Tony Elumole, he said, and I quote, there are 3 policies.
We're talking about unlocking Nigerian potential in the sports sector. First of all, if you want to develop the youth and sports in Nigeria, you first of all ensure that you appoint a minister who is interested in the affairs of the youth and sports, create games and identify good potentials in the games, and develop such afterwards. Encourage youth when they come with sport ideas. Sometimes what youth is situations where we carry it on and improve and develop such ideas to also encourage youth to do more. We are enlightening them on the advantages of sports in young people. Organize it by the youth. We also organize sports and sponsor recreational games and events as loans and then trainings on ways forward. And then always make sure that we give these youths the listening ears whenever they
Question.
Foreigners always come to our country sometimes and pick our talented athletes. How, as this their behavior and
I don't think
who are those in charge of discovering our talented athletes in Nigeria?
it should be the sport ministry.
The sport ministry.
Thank you. That go ahead.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present a paper on unlocking Nigerians' potential in the youth and sports sector at international level while others are not winning. The second question is that the answer is it will lead the country to lead medals at international level. And then there are 3 factors that we have to consider if we really want our country to meet up at the international competition. Number 1, investment. What is the level of investment, of government investment in the sports sector? Secondly, there is what we call extent of population participation. What are the level of our youth participating in the sports sector? So we have to consider this. And then finally, there is what we call level of political stability. Number 1, sport brings unity amongst the people. And then secondly, it brings source of revenue to government and to individuals. And then sport promotes our local cultures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question. Okay. How can Nigeria enhance sport education?
Anyways, in doing that,
right.
Number 1 is the government should implement the policy which will mandate our students from
no go. Ashun, you are sleeping.
Nigeria is a nation overflowing with youthful sector, and it is very important to explore how sports can play a role in unleashing untapped potentials. By promoting sports among the youth, Nigeria can harness the potential for talent development, national unity, and social cohesion. Encouraging active participation in sports enhances physical well-being, but also instills discipline, teamwork, and leadership qualities. Investing in sports infrastructure and training programs can create opportunities for economic growth and recognition globally. Now, I will kind of digress. Why most Nigerian football is not like playing for Nigeria? One, the lure of better financial incentives and playing conditions abroad. Players seeking opportunities to showcase their talents on a more prominent stage or prominent international stage, and situations where players feel that they have more stability and security playing for another national team due to concerns about politics, organization, or management within the Nigerian football system. Unlocking Nigeria's youth potentials in the youth and sports sector requires a concerted approach by addressing challenges, investing in grassroots development, supporting talent programs, and enhancing infrastructure. We can create a country where our youth can thrive and contribute to our nation's progress.
Thank you. Question.
Okay.
You wrote your presentation, and then immediately you exhausted your presentation, you kept quiet. Assuming you still have 5 minutes, what will you have said?
I'm going to say 5 minutes.
Assuming.
From that point that you finished or you exhausted what you brought, and then you still have...
Should I continue?
Tell us more.
Okay. First of all, yes, I'm explaining it for you.
Madam, our football, like Super Eagles, for example, we always hire foreigners to come and be our coach. If you have this opportunity, will you continue in the same trend or you will do something different?
There have also been times when in Nigeria there was also a coach.
I know.
The late, I've forgotten his name, sorry.
You don't know his name?
I've forgotten his name. So I wouldn't give access for foreigners to be the coach of.
But why are we even employing foreigners?
I don't know why. Maybe they don't trust their capabilities, and again, corrupt.
Adamawa. Zo kama na turanci.
Panel of judges, Your Excellencies, fellow Nigerians, good evening. Today we'll be discussing about harnessing or unlocking the potentials in the youth and sports sector. Let me begin by saying that it is dismal, it is despondent, it is disheartening that after 60 and above years we'll still be talking about unlocking potentials. But today I'll be discussing threefold typology towards achieving and unlocking or harnessing the potentials in the sports sector, youth and sports sector. I will begin with saying, growing up, anytime I go out to play football, the best and loving mother in the world, which happens to be my mother, will be waiting at home with her corrective role, which is to flog me, which they see football as something that is not serious, but rather it should be studying. So first, at the societal level, which is the first typology, because it's three, society, individual, and governmental level. At societal level, we need reorientation, because potentials that are in our Nigerian youths from childhood to birth are being deprived of them of showing the world because they don't see it as something that is important. Another example is, I can remember one of the best, most loving that I have, musician from northern Nigeria, which happens to be Osama Badman Bin Laden, had to stop music because they said his family was not comfortable with him singing songs. He has the potentials. But without his society, having it in mind that there are other things aside education, there are other things aside business, there are other things aside from being an engineer or the likes of them that can promote an individual, not necessarily being into a particular sector. So we need to reorient the society first. That is the way. Because you will believe with me that a person with full potentials without giving approval from the society to show himself will never be discovered. Secondly, which is the individual level. As a person, you don't have to wait for anybody to give you a platform to show your talent. I will give you an example. On Twitter, on Instagram and on Facebook, there is a guy they call Young Pogba. He does his football skills, upload it. Paul Pogba in England saw it, in France saw it, and he has to build boots, football kit to the young guy. So at his level, he has already started promoting and unlocking his potentials. So you don't have to wait for anybody. You and I have a responsibility aside the society as an individual. If I am good at music, I should start portraying my music to the world. At governmental level, quickly, we are looking at the government giving us a platform. I came from a state where we do not have adequate sporting facilities, so I don't have an avenue to go and showcase myself in as much as I want to. So government should initiate policies, like one of my colleagues did, promote individuals. I suggest to Nigeria and the world entirely.
Why do you think some people don't have interest in supporting their children in their desired talent or where they have potential?
Sir, let me speak with experience.
Coming from the northern part of Nigeria, especially when you take music and entertainment, it is mostly seen as something that is bad because of the nature and the kind of music and entertainment being portrayed by the Nigerians. If you look at music video, you see the content and they are not something to write home about. So this particular act has made most parents see music or see entertainment as something that is not good. So, and you won't blame our parents because there are people that are into this entertainment industry that are using it to promote good governance. They are using it to promote
societal reorientation.
Yes, it's at the society stage because there are some people that are doing music that will benefit even the young person, and there are some that are doing it that will tarnish the image.
So how well are we going to let our parents know that our talent should not be killed?
Okay, it's why I said from the first stage of societal reorientation.
What did you do to convince your father not to flog you again anytime you go to play football?
Well, in my own case, I did nothing. But at this point, anytime I see a young person interested, example in football, and he goes out and comes back and he got beaten, I will ask his mother, I'll say, Mommy, can you now salary Ronaldo? Like, Mommy, do you know Ronaldo's salary? These are some of the things you need to tell them, that football is not bad.
But how about if your parents are not interested in the money?
You know, one of the things with our family is to see you grow. No family will want to see its child not grow. So it is not about the money. You won't tell me that no family would want to see its son or a daughter on TV.
But you have other means of being on the TV.
Exactly, but he's good in this particular way and he has easy access to getting to the top in this particular way. You might first get into another field.
Thank you. What state?
Let's have Katsina State.
Katsina.
Why don't you like sports? You do? Are you sure?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Looking at the situation of the country, the economic situation, the overpopulation, the ratio of the demographic ratio of the youth population, the crime rates in the country, I think it's high time we look at sports as a business that is what I look into, because I believe a healthy and a healthy business will promote promising citizens in the country. I believe that if sport is integrated as part of our business in the country, we'll be able to have youths that are teaming and well coached in terms of sports analysts. And I believe that it will help to instill in this youth discipline, teamwork, and leadership skills, which I believe are holistic to essential development in the country. Eliminate the negative behavior in these youth and bring out the goods in them. So let's look at how are we going to, what are the strategies we can think of to unlock the potentials in this youth that will become what I just discussed about. And I believe that one of the key things we should do is to recognize other sporting activities, because I learned that a lot of my fellow excellences are talking about football, which I believe I read an article that says that there are over 800 sporting activities in the world, but only we look at aquatic sports. What if we look at Paralympics? Remember Lucy Ejike, which was one of the Nigerians that participated in Paralympics for over 6 consecutive periods, and she happened to achieve medals, one bronze medal in Paralympic activities. So giving opportunity to other sporting activities, recognizing them will give us an opportunity to participate more, because as all youth, we don't have the same talents. One will be best in football and another couldn't be. One could be best in tennis or badminton. So each of these sports, if they will be given an opportunity by the youth, if we recognize them, each youth will be able to showcase the kind of activity he has in this. And then how can we achieve this? I think another key important thing is by able to integrate sports education in our national curriculum, not just at the primary and the secondary level. If a degree program will be introduced in our tertiary institutions for us to go and study.
Thank you. Don't convince me the more, okay? Question.
How do we balance the gender in terms of sports?
Well, to talk of balancing the gender, If the guys should play football, then girls are good at handball.
But our girls play basketball very well, and basketball is the richest sport in the world. Is more richer than even the football.
At the same time, sir, if boys can play basketball.
But the girls are not doing well basketball in Nigeria.
Then we can go for another sport. That's why I said initially we have other sports. We have other recognized.
Well done. Lagos.
Next.
Momono Buhari.
She's on point.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, talking about unlocking Nigeria's potential in youth and sports sector. Well, I would like to start by saying that the youth are the future and the backbone of any country. And the support is always helped in enhancing social and economic development of any country. So putting this together, it will remember the role that football played in uniting this country after Civil War. It's played a significant role by coming, like reuniting people together. But it's more than half of this is an industry, like down to different games industry, different game sectors. So we cannot just rely on football. If football is not paying, we have to try other things like music. Like for example, if we can organize, like show your talent within this country, like let's say polo. Some are different sports. Some are like as I was saying during Civil War. Football has played a significant role.
But we are still having little silent civil war.
No, you still we cannot like eliminate things on African Cup. People from different parts of Nigeria come and unite together.
Right.
Good evening, judges. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening. As the next week president, I will focus on empowering Nigerian youth to become separate Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, passion for sport. For example, most of our players that play from 99 to 2000, if you see them today, you will pity them. Some are even begging, beg them turn to beggars today. They'll tell you, this was so footballer, this and this, but today he's looking for what to eat, where to sleep. So by motivating...
Looking at what you just said, after serving the country or performing or excelling, they tend to come down to even the level of beggars. Taking somebody like Rashidi Yekini.
I will be visiting the national sport bodies in every state to checkmate their activities.
Yourself?
Yes, sir, by myself. Like what happened in the past 2 years, 4 billion naira was allocated to our footballers, but 3 of the management
Come close.
You can start.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, by understanding this motive, we need to understand, we need to provide an avenue for the youth to understand their potential that they carry in them. Firstly, taking myself as an example, considering the fellowship that I have attended, ranging from the United Nations Fellowship and also the Leap African Fellowship. And currently today, as I wake up, I just received an email from Harvard University. I was being appointed among those to be part of the Aspire Leadership Project. So these are some things, some avenues, some platforms that might be given to the youth to understand their potential. And also access to funding and also facilities. And apart from that, elimination of nepotism, in the sense that for the youths to understand that we are all brothers and sisters, and seminars, and also elimination of corruption of all means and other things. And then apart from that, we need to involve the investment and promotion agency in the sense that we will look further to bring on board foreign and local investors to come into our business, into our sports sector in order to boost the sector so as to meet up with the international standards and other things. And then apart from the investment and promotion of patriotism, in the sense that you are not going into the sector for the sake of money or what you are going to be paid at the end of the season or at the end of the match. You are having. I used to be worried when I see after Nigerian players were being won at the international level or something else. There is no sense of national belief or that sense of pain that your nation has lost. Whereas they will just be feeling normal. Whereas if you see the other countries, when they have been scored or they have been won, there is, by mere looking at their face, you might be seeing that they are so worried. So we need to have that patriotism, a love for the nation and care for the nation, that they rather perish than their nation to perish.
Thank you.
Once you are being discovered, we love rotating around only those people. I hope you got my question.
I didn't get it.
Okay. We love once we discover, like Clement Westall, for example, when he came, he set up the team, and that team lasted in Nigeria for almost 16 years. Okay, and up to now for performance. What different thing can you do if given the opportunity?
Up to now, I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Okay. As I said, we don't give opportunities to for young people that have talent to come out and display their talents. Okay, the only few ones that we know, we always cycle within them.
Because someone always in a place, he is tarnishing those that have the potential of becoming something tomorrow. So what about if that person that is there is no more there or he died? Or the strategy that has been, those countries that are successful in the aspect of youth and sport, what strategy are they applying? What are they applying? Then I will look back and set that in place. Eliminate nepotism, each and every ranging, irrespective of your geopolitical location, irrespective of your tribe and other things. So far as you meet up with the tax, you meet up with the requirement, I will bring you onto board and give you the chance to play your role and showcase your talent.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any state?
Last but not the least.
The chairman of the forum.
Without mention, last but not the least.
Hope you have drunk enough water. Hope you have drunk enough water. You are the chairman. That's good, yeah.
In sports, it's not just about health and active lifestyle, but it's also an issue of economy. I'm Sheikh Saad Abubakar by name, the Executive Youth Governor of Nasarawa State. As it stands today, Nigeria's contribution in the sports sector to GDP is less than 1%, which is unacceptable and must be treated with urgency. The HDI of Nigeria too, going with the global rank, goes far back to 163 or 483 countries, whereby a country with a lower population like Australia stands among the top 10 countries in the HDI. So if we should look at the sport, that is not just about health and active lifestyle, but it's also an economy too. Then we'll have to address things in two angles, from the angle of health and from the angle of economy. Because it is unfortunate that today, the life expectancy of Nigeria, a country with less natural resources, Niger, is about 61 years, whereby countries like the United States have about 77 years. So if we actually analyze that these are the problems, then we can be able to reform and improve our sports sector by mandatory sport education among both secondary school, primary school, tertiary institutions, and also both public and private sectors. So if I'm elected as Nigeria president, I will mandate this as the first criteria first. And there must be awareness. Awareness includes competitions among people, and there must also be a political will to attract private organizations, so much so that there will be sponsorship in the sports sector. It is also unfortunate that today, sports sector have insufficient, let me say, ill-equipped infrastructure. So as a government, I'll prioritize infrastructural development in sports sector by upgrading and building new ones, so much so that it will reach the global standard. So in that, after equipping Nigeria in the sports sector, as a government, I'll prioritize sports tourism by organizing international tournaments, championship and events. This type of program will not just contribute to macroeconomics of the country, but also macroeconomics of the country, because there's no way you can be able to improve a country, just like I said before. To resolve Nigeria's problem is not just on a particular sector, it must be on a holistic approach that to deal with all other angles. So in that case, this type of sports tourism will increase the activeness and business of economy of Nigeria, because Nigeria needs to be more busier than the way it is today. And there must be also political will to establish sport academies across the country to recruit our younger ones to showcase their talents.
In abroad or in some places, a talented person can be employed into organization. You can even get admission because you can play in the school football team, for example. In some countries, that is much promoted. Why do you think such is not the case in Nigeria?
As I said, earlier in my previous discussions, I am a trained leader, not a born leader. So I don't believe that we only look at the talent people in any profession. So that's why, firstly, I will mandate sport education across. So if I mandate sport education, I believe that the people you train has more potential than the people that have the talent, because those that have the talent will learn. Well, the best players we have in the world now, let's say like Ciro Ronaldo and Messi.
We spoke about sports tourism. How well can tourism have impact on our local economy, and at the same time, what is its impact on the nation's economy at large?
Thank you. To start with, it has impact in macroeconomics, because when you organize a tournament, for example, of course, the other people that come from other country must purchase a visa of a country that is Nigeria, must lodge an hotel, must buy food to eat. So when there's a more busier economy and business activities, it increases directly to the macroeconomics of the country, and thereby, as a whole, increase the macroeconomics of the country.
How does it stimulate the local economy?
Yes, it stimulates the local economy, because when people are coming from the country, of course they will patronize your business. And when they patronize your business, that means the number of the demands of your business increase more than the way you normally.
What has been the reward system used in Nigeria, and how has it been affecting the sport development?
At the start today, the reward system in the sport in Nigeria, it is unfortunate because it is very poor. So as a government, when elected as the president of Nigeria, I will increase the potentiality and the prospector in all angles to increase the
where will you get the funds, owing to the fact that the sports activities contribute less than 1%?
That is why I said solving Nigeria problem is not just about one sector. It is a holistic approach. So by solving other sectors, we are able to fund our raise a fund to also develop and of course,
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chief Judge, you have the floor.
All right. Once again, we want to congratulate all of you all. Okay. I think you have to excuse the judges so that
they want to eat too.
Okay, this is where you eat, Abby. Okay, then the judges will excuse you, right? It's alright. So we'll excuse you so that you can eat and eat and eat. Then when your tummy get full, tomorrow is the final day. So congratulations to all of you, and we wish you the best.
Before we go, I must say